Hey YouTube! Yeah, I did 4 videos yesterday, so I don't need to do one today, so I'm just going to talk shit for 10 minutes. Yeah, so that was all on my new Les Paul yesterday. It's good. It's amazing how people can hear things that I can't. It's like back to playing the corker. Just it's so much better. It's just like, I mean, yeah, Les Pauls they're great, but they're just not. There's much better guitars kicking about. I own several of them. I was saying to someone else earlier on, I turned to the dark side, joined the rest of us. You've seen the light and all that. And you're like, I will say that is the 3rd most expensive guitar I've ever bought. Roughly, something like that. Maybe the 4th. And does it make it into my top 20? Not the top 10. Definitely get 10 guitars that are in every single measurable way, apart from it doesn't say Gibson Les Paul on it, are much better guitars. Easily. But, yeah. It was kind of why I bought it, to be honest, so I can slag them off properly. I do quite like it though, it's fun. I like it because it's like a cheap one. I like a... I'm standing here with this. But I like a cheap but reasonably well built guitar. I think if the price for that had been where I think it should be, that should be new. If that was like a £400-500 guitar, I'd paint on it. I know that these were cheap because they didn't have paint on them. They look crap, but they don't have paint on them. So that will be worth more than any other one once I've done something with the paint on it, because the paint on them just look crap. But I like the more basic-y guitars. It sounds ridiculous again because I'm playing this, and I've got a couple. You've seen the basses of fancy stuff. It's nice having it and showing people, but it doesn't make any difference how it plays. But this is a much much nicer. It's like putting this on. It's like, it fits me. It's just like, oh look, my hands are in the right place. There's a Les Paul. It would probably work the other way if I was used to playing Les Pauls all the time, where the neck kind of coming around this way, so you're kind of it just doesn't sit the same way. But this guitar's actually heavier than the Les Paul. So that was it. I was going to say, look at my mouse you get. This is for fans. Look, guess what it is? So this is the 1961 Ibanez, something like that. That Jen was talking about painting, and I mentioned it in one of my videos, and I was like, "Oh, you got don't let her paint it." It's like, so I just basically, when I was rummaging about her cupboard the other day, I was like looking for other guitars because there's a cupboard full of guitars. So I'll be like, I'll just take that because I want to make it work. So the bridge is missing, and I've had this in before. I haven't actually touched what was existing from the last bridge, the original bridge. I don't even know what the original bridge looks like, so I basically just took a Tune-o-matic and angle grinded holes in it so that it sits on whoever way around and worked it out. So it will work, but if anyone ever tried to find the original bridge, but I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure the original bridge would have been intonable anyway. So I have wired this. I mean, look at the scratch plate on it though. That's the original scratch plate. It's got the original knobs. The pickups both work. Well, they both work to the extent that I plugged it in and I tested it with tapping it with a screwdriver like a few months ago, and it did work. I've got 4 of the original tuners. I'm just going to find another 2 that are similar enough. Just to make it play. So all it really needs is 2 more tuners, which I will be able to find, ones that look kind of similar, and strings. And then we're ready to go. It's a cool guitar though. It's totally rock solid. It's really heavy for what it is. The neck on it's massive. I was going to say it doesn't have a truss rod. It does have a truss rod, but the neck's like totally like a broomstick. Look at the thickness. It's the same thickness that way as it is that way. Amazing thing. I'm looking forward to getting. I've got too many other guitars in the list. I've got a wee bit of a backlog of guitars to fix. I've got a few J-Packs to put together. This one, which I tried to wire up on Wednesday, there's something wrong with the electrics. It's completely dead. So, as you can see, it's a lefty. So there's for the left-handed J-Packs fans, it will work. But the fact that it's completely dead implies it's going to be the volume controls knackered, or you know, because if it was a pickup that was broken, all the other pickups would work. Or, you know, do you know what I mean? So it's just because it's got nothing, I just get the impression there's something somewhere. I think the volume control might be hot wired to earth. So basically, it's just instead of letting the signal through, it's just nope. You turn it, and it's like no, I'm not doing it. So I just need to put pots in that one. That one's interesting. I don't think there's anything else in here. I've started making bucky casters again. I'm going to give a couple to Tony and Blitzkrieg because I've kind of gone off it. So here's the latest bucky caster. Still an Encore. Good guitars. I was toying, so I've got two of these. This one and one I'm just about to build up. I had an idea for that, but I would always like to make all the bucky casters slightly different from each other, so there's no two that have ever been the same. Not that they're ever started out with the same guitar, but they all get funny wiring. So I'm actually thinking that might be the first ever bucky caster that doesn't have any fancy wiring in it, maybe. But what I was thinking, I've been thinking of doing this for ages. This is an Encore pickup I've had for years. It sounded amazing, but it's pure. It's a total microphone, like the most microphonic pickup I've ever come across. So I mean, literally, I could plug it into a guitar and you could talk into it and it would amplify. It's really microphonic, which sounds absolutely phenomenal until you get to a certain volume or you get any gain on at all, and then it's just a screaming mess, like just feedback like mental. So I'm thinking, see, putting that in the middle position on a Strat. Well, I was actually going to add it in as an extra pickup in that bucky caster, thinking like, yeah, put it in the middle somewhere, and then instead of just have a master tone control and have the other tone a volume for this, so you can basically, and wire the two in series, the two next to each other like a jazz bass, so you could have the pickup on its own if you wanted. But it would mean that when you got to the trashy bit at your solo or at the end of a song or the mad freak out psychedelic bit, you just turn the volume up on the super microphonic pickup and you'll get kind of getting towards a sustainer type thing going on, just with just having one broken pickup. Well, it's not broken, it's just obviously the wax has come off it, so what's happening is the wraps on it are vibrating, hence it's working like a microphone. But I've since thought that the way I might maybe a wee JPAX collaboration instead. So here's the other bucky one. So if it's in the middle, I was thinking it'd be pretty cool to have like oh, that's interesting. It doesn't actually fit in there. To have like, see if it was some way of making like a mouth with it. This is as at the top and the bottom teeth or something like that as the screamer pickup, and then with like something pointing to the middle line somehow joining it, so you can know this is the volume for the screamer. And then I would just have two single coils or maybe a humbucker on the bridge. There's a Warman humbucker kicking about somewhere. Two single coil pickups, and I'll just make the 5-way a 3-way switch. So you've got like basically a duo sonic with the two outside pickups, which will give you the Dave Gilmour sound in the middle, two excellent single coil sounds, and then you can blend in or turn the volume down and just turn this on instead to get relatively controllable feedback. When I say controllable feedback, it's quite good, so you can just turn this up until it's feeding back the way you like it, and if it's too much, you turn it off, or you can turn it up more so it goes mental. So there's an interesting idea. I was going to put, as I said, it was going in that bucky cast until I was thinking about it last night. I thought I had that idea about like having like some sort of abstract face with that as its mouth, and then it means the guitar could be called the Screamer. I quite like that idea. And I've had another idea for the other. Well, go back to this is the other bucky caster, which I haven't decided what to do with yet. But I was just looking there. I've got it. It's lying about. I had it in my hand 2 seconds ago, and I've lost it. Yeah. I was literally fidgeting with it 2 seconds ago. Yeah. So, have you ever seen this before? Oh, we've all seen that. What about an HS, rather than an HSS, a SSH, so humbucker in the neck, and then 2 single coils. Just because I don't think I've ever seen an HSS, or sorry, an SSH, was in single coil humbucker Strat before. Just to make it a bit different. I think I'd probably do I got a mod, which we would probably do, but it's like, so, yeah, I'm holding the wrong guitar to decide. You get the three pickups and a Strat, right? And to make a humbucker, you have to flip. The middle one is normally, or basically on a humbucker, one coil is clockwise and positive, and the other one is negative and is anti-clockwise and negative. You put the two of them in series, you get a humbucker. Right. So what that means is, on, for example, this guitar, two of these coils, this coil will be the same way around as this coil, and this coil is the same way around as this coil. So if you put them both together, you don't get hum cancelling. So if you put these two together or these two together, I know that because this guitar is actually wired that way. And what was my point there again? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bridge and the middle pickup will both be the same. We'll use them both the same, and then the neck pickup, I will coil split that so you can get 3 all normal Strat sounds, and then when I turn on the secondary coil on the neck humbucker, instead of putting it in series with this to make a neck humbucker, I'll put it in series with the 5-way switch, which means that in the neck position you would get a neck humbucker, but if you go to the bridge position you would get the bridge and the coil from the neck to make a wide humbucker. I quite fancy that because I think that'd be quite interesting. I've done it before the other way around by having it on an HSS. So basically it gives you, instead of having 5 sounds on a Strat, you would get the 5 normal Strat sounds, and then you would get 5 with the extra coil in, so you would get 5 humbuckers, and so you get 10 sounds just doing that. Sounds fun. Yes, I don't know what other. The reverb seems to be up dead loud now, doesn't it? Is it normally as loud as that? I wonder if I've kicked the knob again. The more I play this guitar, the more it's my guitar. When it comes down to what kind of guitar do you play, I play the corker. No faffing about. Maybe if I was playing a gig, I would play this, and then I would have a secondary guitar as a backup, like a normal one. So it's an interesting one. That's, if you're wanting a JPAC scratch plate, buy one now. By the way, she's sold fucking 6 today. She just bought a big bulk of Strat and Telly scratch plates from a guy down in England somewhere on eBay. And she's just going mental for painting them up. And what a way to improve your unbelievably boring but really, really nice Fender. It's really nice, but it's just like a black Fender. Oh my god, that's so uninteresting. Put on a JPAC scratch plate and it'll become... We're also having a wee bit of a discussion. I was like, she did one yesterday, the day before. I was looking at it after she'd done like that. She'd done the body and the scratch plate. I was just happy. Yeah, it's like just for a wee minute there. Can you set like a white scratch plate on it just to see, more like that? She put it on. It was like, oh, it does. There is something about having the whole thing done. It's great. There's also something about having the white seems to work quite well. And I've just been as practical as I can be, thinking, well, if you're getting $100 for a scratch plate, then the guitar with the painted scratch plate should be $100 more, which it doesn't work out that way just now. And also, basically, let's be honest here, if I didn't know Jen, I would have bought one of the JPACs by now, and it wouldn't be unthinkable about what I would do is I would buy. Well, I wouldn't buy that one, it's left-handed. But like a right-handed one, and then what you do is you take the scratch plate off that one, put it onto your boring white Strat, or boring black Strat, or boring brown Strat, and then put the white scratch plate on that, and then you end up with 2 JPAC guitars for the price of one. Well, for the price of one and whatever other guitar you've got lying about. So have a wee think about that. Yep. So that'd be that'll be your video increment today. What day's tomorrow? Is the 30th? That's fine. So there should be a video tomorrow. I think I'm going to do someone was talking about this. It was the Sloan Ranger. I said I'd quite fancy looking through, saying that all basses are pretty ugly. In general, there's some which work, because I'm doing the beautiful basses thing. And I started looking. I was like, I want to look up guitar. So I started looking up, just starting from the cheapest to which one it would had, and having a wee bit of a. I gave up on the bass very quickly because I started seeing ones that I thought were quite interesting. So I started looking at electric guitars and thinking, Andertons do this. You're going to a gig, your van's crashed, and you're now in Andertons. You've got £1,000 to buy a gig for what you're going to gig with tonight, just to get over with, and you've got stuck with it. So what I was doing something like that, thinking, right, so you've got a deal with Guitar, and basically what they're doing is they're saying maybe £500 or £1,000. It's like pure yes, right, you're doing a gig tonight, you need a guitar to play your gig tonight. In my case, I'm just going to assume I was still in Cranking House, so I can do what I want, right? So you've got to get a guitar that you're going to play at this special show tonight, and you can keep the change. You've got to keep the guitar. You're not allowed to sell it afterwards. You've got to keep this guitar forever, right? So you're stuck with it. And you get to keep the change. So buy a £100 guitar, get £900 cash, but have to play and be stuck with a £100 guitar. So I'm just wondering where that would end up, what would end up buying. Because then you start looking at it and going, oh, that's decent. It'd be very... But you're sitting there going, up here, what? So there's a £400 guitar and a £600 guitar, and it's like, oh, that's £200 in my pocket. Could I live with either of them? Just be interesting to see what we end up with. And I'm going to try and do it live. I think my live stream tomorrow Saturday night, I might do my live stream sitting down, if I can work it out to use the program on the computer, so that I can have, like, me in a wee window in the corner, and we can look through Bling Me, and then we can maybe get some folk in to say, I don't like that, or do like that, because there's obviously a taste thing, and there's obviously an element of someone saying, Jen yesterday's that pure, well, they're obviously not giggable guitars. No, they're totally giggable. So you can't gig less than a £2,000 guitar, and it's like, well, there you go. They don't cost £2,000, but I mean, where does it come into gigging? It's like if I was playing, Wembley or Wembley Stadium, I'm less likely to be playing with a Squire guitar. Yeah, you could do it, or if you're doing a world tour, you need a one that's definitely going to last 9 months of getting chucked in holds and all that shit. Which, okay, maybe not. But when I'm saying they're giggable, what you been talking about playing, the pub or a venue with a couple hundred folk in it? Of course, it'd be fine, it'd be great. I've seen worse guitars played all over the place. So I was looking through, but I got up to about £300 when I was looking through the guitars, and I think the guitar at the time I was thinking like a £500 check, but you can keep the change. I think the one I was actually looking at was just buying it's an East Coast telly for 110 quid, like that. It's a telly. I wonder how shit it is, but I mean, I assume I'd be able to play a gig with it. Obviously, you got to try these things, see which one was better. Maybe look at the ones you would look at when you went into the shop. The gig's not till tomorrow night. You can go in at lunchtime tomorrow and arse about, but have a look and see what it is. Which half dozen guitars you want to look at to decide which one it is you're going to buy for this gig. It's a funny thing, guitars. You're talking about people loving the Les Paul, or just not that, the Les Paul, a Les Paul. I think, I was talking again about this the other night, I am in a very fortunate position, whereas I don't play the same guitar very often. So I'm constantly, every week, I'm playing tens of guitars, going from the cheapest guitars to the most expensive guitars, and all different shapes and sizes and basses and baritones and all that stuff. So I'm quite good at being able to pick up any guitar and get used to it, you know, in 30 seconds and able to play it, which a lot of people, if you've only ever, you know, it's like, oh, I've been playing the guitar for 20 years, I've got my Telecaster. That's fine. If you try and play anything that isn't a Telecaster, you've got a learning curve because you've never played any other type of guitar. Whereas I'm so used to so many different shapes and sounds and sizes of guitars, I can kind of alter it a bit. It's kind of, I like to put it the same way of, say you're the guy that you work for a car showroom, so your job, you've always seen them, you know, you get like, they've got temporary number plates hung over them when they're getting delivered. So you're the delivery guy, you're delivering new cars from somewhere to different car showrooms. So every day you're constantly going into a car, sitting in it. It could be like a Panda, it could be like a Range Rover. The controls are the same, and it's how quickly you get used to it. So basically that guy can sit in a Panda and go, there we go. And then by the time he's gone round 2 corners, it's like, fine, driving becomes automatic. That's what I'm like with guitars. You know, or you're sitting in a Land Rover or a Range Rover, it's like, oh, and initially this is a wee bit weird, but once you've done a couple of corners and a couple of junctions, there we go. You know, you found the biting point, you found out where the gears are, where the indicators are and all that crap. So there's an element of that, which I've got. There you go, 20 minutes to talk about No, I've not been using this guitar as much of a rock guitar as I probably should be. I'm also going to have to seriously have a look at this and set it next to my RG530 and just go, it's kind of what it is. It's kind of an Ibanez Roadster. I think more than anything else. Okay, it's got these wee hooks in it, which the Roadsters have. This is not the right Roadster to show you because this one's got rounded edges, but you know. So there, see this, it's got like a wee. That's not rounded. That's kind of hooked in there as well. You can see it's a wee bit hooked. This has that as well. It's that wee bit hooked. And I suppose the Roadster was maybe. Yeah, I don't know. When did they start putting 2 humbuckers in a Strat? I think not far off that. Like for a big manufacturer making a Strat with humbuckers in it, and a Floyd Rose. Well, this was a hardtail, but I wouldn't change that. Hardtail, let the tone out, all the tone would. I mean, just listen to that walnut. Rock on, and merry strange time of year when you don't know what day. Today's Friday. It's like it's always the same between Christmas and New Year. Your week just goes, what day is it? Where? What is it? So instead of, it always gets to be, it's Christmas Day, and then it's Boxing Day, then it's the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, and then it's back to all those things in the middle don't have like a Monday or a Tuesday designation because none of it makes any sense. So rock on, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll do a live stream. I'd love to I'll see if I can set up that. I'd love to do the live thing when I'm looking up shit, and that'd be quite sitting drinking a bottle of Bucky, talking shite about guitars. Wouldn't it be good if I could get like a Zoom call thing as well? That'd be awesome. I don't know who I would Zoom call. Some of you guys maybe. I'm afraid if Mr. Whitesnake did join in, I think we'd just spend the whole time slagging him off, which would be funny, but wouldn't be very conducive to actually getting anything done. Not that you ever need to get anything done. Rock on. End this video for the 3rd time.